Hello guys, we are from group 1 and we are from Informatics 46 International class, and we are now going to explain about our final project for COA course where we asked to make a MIP simulation. Okay. Before starting the explanation, I will introduce myself. My name is Ananda Artiwidikdo, and here are my other group mate, and here are my group mate. Okay. So there is me, Ananda Artibigdo, and there's also Brian Daniel, Inyoman Manutama Surajagadita, Farhan Aryaguna Priyatna, and also Gibran. Okay, so the next one is this one, the instructions. So we are from group 1, so we choose this the first code of the given 5 code from our lecturer. This one. This is the value for the register data that I got from YouTube. And this one is for the memory data, which I also got from the YouTube. We first need to convert it to the assembly language, where will we get SLT 17, 10, and 12. And we can achieve that by using MIPS instruction converter. This website.
Hello, my name is Manutama. In this part, the tools part, I will be explaining about what tool we use for instruction converting and also MIPS visualizing. The first tool are MIPS instruction converter. It's what it said. It is an instruction converter from hex to instruction or the other way around. So we will be converting all of this, but my friend already did it. Here is the conversion. Trying the tools, I will do this part, the 0. So just copy that. So we have this, we can copy this. So that is from hex. So we go to this box. We need to convert it. So this is the conversion. It's SLT, set less than instruction, to the destination of memory 17, from memory 10, from address 10, and address 12. This is the hex, and then this is the binary. So next, so for the second tools, we use a MIPS visualizer. So it's visualizing our visualizing our instruction in a form of CPU diagram. We put our instruction, this instruction, into this middle part. So it's LST. So I'm just gonna make it sure to do it with lowercase. So if I want result to be true on address 17, so I need to make the value in the address 10 less than address 12. So what I'm gonna do is make this 10, and the 12 I will make it 12, or maybe I can do 11 too, because 10 is less than 11. So the result will be written in address 17. So how to know that? We need to load it first. I think it's load. No, it's not load. The comma. We need the comma. So load it. Instruction is load, and then we need to execute. You can execute the instruction, the whole execution, or execute it block by block. In this case, I will execute it the whole part, so we can see the result right now. So it will be 1 or 1 mean true, 0 mean false in address 17. So this is the one. But if I want it to change it to false, 0, I can just change it here 0, reset it, or I can make this one bigger than 11, maybe 12. Confirm, load it again, and then execute it. So 17 will be 0 right now. Yep, it's 0. So that's how you use the MIPS visualizer. This is the RAM. This value tells us what instruction is being done, and this is the address. It will be 1 first, and then goes to 4, and then goes on with the multiple of 4. So next one will be 8. If I do it here, it will be 8 now. If I do it again, it will be 12. So it's the memory, the RAM will read every single instruction we have ever done into its address. I think that's all about the tools explanations. Next, we can go to the instruction explanation.
Okay, so yeah, that is how you can convert from the machine language code to assembly language code. And before moving to the explanation of the SLT, this SLT instruction, I want you guys to know what is SLT in MIPS. So SLT is set on less than, which is a comparison instruction that sets the destination register's content to have to the value 1 if the first source register's contents are less than the second source register's contents. Otherwise, it is set to the value 0. And you can see here the syntax of SLT instruction. And so SLT will store the value 1 in the RD. In this case, in my case, it is 17. So address 17 in register memory will store the value 1 if the content of address 10 in register memory is less than the content or the value in address 12 in register memory. Okay, so yeah, I think we can just move on to the wait, the visualization, and it will look something like this. So I already fill all the tables and the list, and then after this you just need to download it. Click load, and then we can start the visualization. Okay, so we need to look at first the PC value, the instruction register value, and also the data memory value. So they are still on default after I input them. Okay, so the first step. Okay. The first step is the fetch stage where the instruction, the SLT 171012 will be stored in the instruction register, as you can see here. But this is the binary of that instruction. So same as before, like 00, yeah, same as before. Store it in instruction register, and then PC here in the end of this step will be the value of PC will be 4. But as you can see earlier, before we go to the first step, the value of PC is 0 and the value of instruction register is also 0. So here 21792810 is the decimal value of this binary. So let's see, binary to decimal. Yeah, the same. And the value for PC or program counter is 4. It is because this step. So from PC, at first it is 0, right? So it goes to MUX here, where it will be added by 4 from this MUX, which has immediate value of 4, I think. Yeah, so at first it is 0, and then it goes here, and then in ALU here, it will be the value of program counter will be incremented by 4 by this MUX here, the value of MUX here, and the addition or the arithmetic function is controlled by this ALU control. So at the first step, the ALU is performing addition, which is controlled or by instructed by this ALU control signal, which told the ALU to do addition. And the result of that addition in ALU or arithmetic logic unit will goes to the MUX, and because it is 0, it will then send back to program counter, which make the PC value is 4 now. And yeah, and also for the control unit, it is the control. It controls everything, every components in this MIPS, and it makes this process run like that. And so so I think the what changed from previous step in register memory is these two, and in data memory there is a new address value, which is the same as the instruction register at the first address of data memory. So there's 21792810 value in the first address of data memory. Okay, so after that, we move on to the next step, which is I believe it is the decode step. So wait. Okay. As you can see here, wait. As you can see here, the instruction register code, this binary code 00 until 1010 will be parsed into some of the some of them will go to control unit, and then some will go to read register 1, read register 2, and then to this MUX, and then to this line here. So as I mentioned before, wait, where is it? Okay, so I think we'll just this one. So as I mentioned before, that this binary code can be divided into 6 part, I believe. So 6 digits. Okay, wait. Okay, this one. Okay. So this one, the opcode will go to the control unit. Maybe I can just do this. Yeah. This 6 digit will go to the control unit. That it will let the control unit knows that the instruction that is happening right now is a R format instruction. So this is an arithmetic instruction. And then this RS will go to the read register 1, Wait, I think okay. Read register 1, and then 0, this one 01100 will go to the read register 2. 1001001 will go to this mux, and then we won't be using these 5 digits, and this /6 digits will go to this line. Okay, and yeah, I think that's it, because I think from my previous attempts of explaining this, the I think there is something wrong here, but I will explain it on the next step, I think, because on the next step it won't be, you know, going through this. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Because from after that, we can see here on the register memory that the target is now minus 30,000, or minus 30674, which is different from the previous step, which is, I think it is 0. So there is change too. Okay, so there's nothing changed other than target. Okay, so after that, I think, yeah. Okay, move on to the, okay, so yeah, control unit also control this step to perform, those parsing, and I think these components too. Can move on to the next step, which is, I think, the execute step. Okay, let's wait it to load first. Okay, so it is on the third step, the execution step. The RS value, which is on the previous step, is going to the read register 1, is now moving to read data 1 and into the MUX here. And also the same things happen to the RT, the read register 2. It moves to read data 2 and to this MUX. And those 6 last digit that I mentioned before, this one 101010, will go to allo control. Okay, so the value of RS, or the read register 1, will go to this MUX, the RT will go to this MUX or MUX, and the last 6 digit, or the function digit, will go to this allo control, and all of that will meet in ALU. So ALU will perform comparison of these two value, the RS and the RT, which is ordered by this ALU control, which is now containing the value of 101010, which means that it is asking for as a SLT instruction. So yeah, the result of this ALU would be 1. Why? Because the RS value is the RS is 10, and on the address 10, it is the content of it, the value of it is 6, and on the address 12, in the address 12, the value of it is 9. So 6 is less than 9, right? So the result of ALU would be 1. And we can check here if there's something changed. I think there is not yet. There is nothing yet. There's nothing changed. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all for this execute step. And also, control unit control all the components on this step 2. Basically, it controls everything in this MIPS, every component. And on the last one, yeah, okay. On the last one, wait, okay, wait to load first. Oh, okay. The result of ALU will go to here, to this line, and to this MUX, and to this write data. And on register, now on the destination register, which is address 17 in register memory, will now be changed to the result of the previous ALU instruction, the SLT instruction. And we can see that here, we can see it here, that the value of address 17 is now changed to 1, while previously it is 25. So it performs the SLT instruction. And I think, yeah, only that change in this last step. It is the storing step. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for this step, because this one is from the previous step. And yeah, there we go. We change the value of the set of 17 to 1, which is the result of the comparison between address 10 and address 12 value in register memory. Okay, so I think, yeah, that's all I think from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Inyoman Mahutama Surajagadita. My name is 130-122-4098. I will be explaining about the second instruction, the addition. So here we got $3 mean 3 address in the main memory. So what does RD, RS, and RT mean? It means RD means destination register. So and then RS means source register, and RT is the target register. So what does this all mean? It's basically the RD will store the value from the addition of address RS and address RT. That's basically what this syntax means. So next, about how this syntax works, we will use MIPS visualization application. So here we will be using MIP Visualizer. It is by Alexa Zukovich. This is my instruction, so I'll be copying this. It's ADD $8, $12, $17. So I will be using address 8 to store the value of addition from address 12 and address 17. So first thing to do is make sure I put value into address 12 and 17. So after I initialize the address 12 and 17, I can do the addition. How to do the addition is to load this. So we load it first. We load the instruction. And it says instruction is load. So what we can do next is to execute it. So to explain this, I will execute the clock one by one. So the first clock I execute will be explained here. The instruction register in the first clock will hold the instruction that is read from memory. So the instruction is read from the memory or DRAM. So it's basically just reading the instruction from DRAM and then make sure the instruction register knows it. So next clock will be in the instruction register. We will see instruction is parsed and appropriate portion of it are distributed across the CPU. So across all of the CPU, the information of the instruction is parsed by the instruction register. So the CPU knows what to do with this instruction. So second clock basically means it's parsing the instruction all over the CPU. Next clock, in the third clock we can read the instruction here. So values of instruction specified register and function, and then in the register it's also specified register are brought as ALU argument. So this read data is going to the ALU argument here. So this is the RS, the source, and this is the target RT. And here in the ALU we can see in the third clock of R-type instruction, ALU does the requested operation on specified argument. So from RS and RT, so we will be doing addition from those registers and execute it, and we got the result. And the next is the last clock is, we can see here it successfully execute. So the last clock is the execution clock, or what does it basically say? In the ALU, entire state of third clock remain the same, which means that ALU result to be addressed from which the word will be loaded. So basically result goes to here, and then this says value to be written to the destination register. What value? Value is a result of executing operand specified with func instruction fit on register LT and RS in the third clock. So what does this basically mean is just writing data, writing the result from the ALU. So the result of the operation is addition of RT and RS. So basically clock 4 is the execution clock or the data writing clock. So we will write the data into the specified destination register. You can see here, yeah, the same. The entire state of clock 3 is still preserved, but in the last clock we will do an execution and data writing. So we will look up. Now it will be on the address 8, so we'll need to look at address 8. Yeah, there is 120 in the address 8. The instruction is also written in the RAM, so we know what instruction is the run by the CPU. So after that explanation, I will be using this table content provided by my teams to execute the last instruction. So first I will be just initializing each table of address, so it's from number 8 to 25. So here is the initialization from address 8 to address 25. So it's done. Now what we need to do is to execute this instruction, but before that I need to make sure what is in each address. So address 8 is 3, 12 is 9, and in the 17 it's 25. So if I would run this instruction, it will add address 17 is 25 and 9 and put it into address 8. So 25 plus 9 is 34. It will put 34 into address 8. So let's see. Execute this, and then it's done, successfully executed. We will see 34 in the address 8, so it is working. I think that's all for the addition instruction explanation. I hope you understand about addition in MIPS. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Raya, and in this section, I will explain about the jump instruction. And so in this instruction,
we got the 0800005, and then we go to the I'm using MIPS instruction converter. So in this we just go to the hex to instruction and convert it, and we got the J is jump, so jump 0 times 5, so it's jump 5, and then go to the when it, and how can we get the jump instruction? So uh, without this English instruction, we can use it manual. So how to do it manual? We can go to the hex to binary and go to the instruction hex to binary. So in this we got this, and we got the first 5 digit. We got two in this, and two is jump. So you get it is two is jump, and then the last digit is 0101 is 5. So we got the jump 5. And then now for the visualizer, I'm using MIPS. So in this MIPS, I will in snip, first we need to input the register data and memory data. I just did it. I just do it before the recording, so it won't take too long. So we just need to add this. Like for this, we got add this 8, 9, 12, 10 to number 8 and 10 to the content of the value is 356. And for this, we got the memory register also. We just input it. So until from 500 to 704, and the tools. And then so we got the already get jump 5, and then we go to the, but before we go to the jump, we need to do the SRT and add first. So we need to do the SRT first. SRT for 17, 10, and 12. No? And then load it and execute. Then the value will be changed, this value, and the memory rating will give 1. So like maybe my friend already explained about it, and so we just need to go to the add now. Add to web and yeah. So we go to add 12 and 17. We load it, then section load. And after that, we got the new value of data memory, and the value will be also changed. So in this, we just in this jump we need to focus on PC value. This PC value, that we go to jump. So for that, we need to focus on PC value. So this is a so PC will be 8. First is 8 PC, and then I will go load it. But before we load it, I will explain about what is the jump. Go here and we go to jump. Yeah. So J instruction is the jump instruction used to unconditionally transfer control to a specific memory address. The syntax for J instruction is J target address, which is J, and 5 is target address. The target address can be an offset or a label, so it will be logged on an immediate value into PC, which is then incremented by 4 to point to the new instruction. The target address is calculated by adding the offset to the current PC value. So we got, and then we will load it. And okay, and the first one. Now the PC is for right. Now the first the control unit sends out control signals, and then go to the PC. The PC is what the current instruction in first block, which is 8, and then the PC also will be checked later, and go to the multiplexer. Choose PC value as read address, and then the memory instruction is read from RAM memory at address held in PC register. And then instruction register will hold the instruction read from memory. So it will be hold memory, and then we go to the multiplexer here. It will be add plus 4 because the incremented will be adding by 4. How we get 4? We get it from here 4, and then the auto controller is doing a signal addition. So if there is auto control here, so it means that we will do an addition. So the addition is 8 plus 4, which is 12, and this out we go to this multiplexer here, 12, and then go to the go back to the PC. So in this part, go. So first we got 8 in this PC, and then we go to the this in this 8 and this 4, and then go to the addition 8 plus 4. This is 8. So if there is a uncontrollable here, so it means we need to add. So the result is 12, and then go to this part, and in this part, the 12 will go to the PC again, and before the value is 8, but now the value will be 12. So with this, and then we can see here, yeah, look, before we got the PC is 8, the PC 8, but now we change it to 12. And then change to 12. So then we go to the next instruction, next clock. So the second clock, the control unit sends out control signals, and the instruction register will go to register. We the instruction 31 until 26 will go to control unit, and 25 until 0 will go to this. So instruction 25 to 21 will go to get register 1, this will go to register 2, and this will go to multiplexer. And in this, the input is 16 and the output is 32. So we go to the here, the 16 offset rate from instruction is for a second ALU argument. So in this, we need to, so in this second, you can see in second clock, ALU is used to calculate the target range address. Address is calculated by adding 16-bit offset bit from instruction to current value of the PC register. So in this part, we need to, so in this part, we will adding we need to add in 4 with 16. So yeah, so the current value of PC incremented by 4 in first clock is root as first ALU argument. So in this we got 4. The PC we got 4 in this PC, and go to the multiplexer here 4, and then the first I have to explain this. So instruction, so the 25 until 21 we know that it's 5, so it's 5 we go to read register, and then 5 here go to register 2, and then 5 here also go to multiplexer. And then the signal extend we go from 16 go the output is 32, and then it will be 16. We know that and there is still ALU control. It means that we need to add the addition signal. So we need to add the 4 with 16, which is 20. So the 20 will go to the target here, and just go to target, and the target will be yeah, it will be the instruction will be current will be adding the 20 we just got here will be go to the target, and this is the second clock, and for the third or the last clock, last clock, in this one No, we changed that. We got it to 20 now. And then to get this, we go with the Vivo and instruction register. Uh, the jump address is 25-bit instruction specified value. So we got it and we go to the multiplexer here and then just go to the PC. We know that this is 5, right? This is 5 and this is 5. And go to the PC to the 20. So how do we know it's 20? We can go to binary to binary to decimal to binary. We can go to 20 and we got 10100, which is the same as this 10100. So and then after we do the instruction jump, we already got the new data memory is 8 and the value is will be 13421773, and also the value will be changed. So the PC now before that is 8, but now it will be 20. It will be times by 4, like 3 times, because we got the 3 clock. So it means that the PC will get added 4 times by 4 value, by the value 4. So egg will add by 12. And then I think that's all for the jump instruction. And for the next instruction, which is SW, I mean, is stop work will be explained by Guna. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Farhan, and right now I would like to continue the explanation about store word. As you can see in this slide, store word is instruction that used to store a word from a register to a memory address that's specified by an offset from the base register. The syntax for store word is SW $, register target, offset, $register source, where offset is in a 16-bit and is integer that adds into the content of RS to calculate the memory address where the word will be stored. Or in an easy way, store word is like you have a bunch of file or a bunch of information that we call it word, and we store the word into a certain or into the specific location in memory that we can use it later. Okay. Next, I would like to explain it using MEPS visualizer. This is tool that I use. For example, we use the syntax. The syntax is SW $11 is the address that the value we want to store, and this is the target address. Because the source address is address 11, then we need to change the value for the address 11. For example, we can use 100 for the value in address 11. So right now, the value in address 11 in the register is 100. And the value for address 22, sorry, it's 0. I will not change this. I will change this later. I will explain it the basic. Okay, after that, this is the target address that we want to store in memory or in memory. Okay, after that we load, then we execute,
the instruction. Okay, this is the first process or the first clock. It stored or the okay. The first process is instruction register. Hold the instruction read from the memory. After that, instruction is read from RAM memory at address held in PC register. Okay, next clock. Instruction loading. Instruction is pairs and appropriate portion of it are distributed across the CPU. And after that, register pointer are initialized from instruction. The third clock, in the third clock, start word instruction ALU calculates the address by adding instruction specified base register with 16-bit offset, which is also read from the instruction. Okay, register is holding the current instruction, and value in instruction is specified. Register is read. Then in the last clock, uh, in this clock, value in memory is written. But address was calculated in previous step. The address is calculated in the clock tree. Okay, can continue. After that, we get the result. The result that we get from the previous address that we calculate in the clock tree. I know it's a bit confusing when we explain like this. I would like to explain it using this instead. Okay, as you can see, we are before putting the value into the address 11 is 100, right? Then this is the target address. The address will be 5 and plus this address because the address 22 it's 0, then 5 plus 0 is 5. So then the target address is 5. Then as you can see, the value uh, of the address 5 is 100, same as the address 11 in register. So what if we change the value in address 22? We change uh, 20, for example. So the value for the address 22 is 20. Then we load the instruction, then we execute, and as you can see, we get 25. We get 100 in address 25. Why it's 25? Because the target is not only address 5, but it's plus this address value because it's 20. Then because it's 20, then 5 plus 20 is 25. So the address is 25. What if we change the the value for this one for uh the address? Change like maybe like 10. Then we load the instruction. Then as you can see, the address for 25 is changed into 0. Why it's 0? Because the address of 10, this is the source address, the source value that we want to store, it's 0. Then the address for 25 is 02. Okay, actually it's simple just uh, we just playing with the address that we want to store, or the value in the address that we want to store to the targeted address that we want to put the value in. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gibran Muhammad Niswar Said, and I'm here to explain about the load word. So LW here stands for the load word. So the load word is to instruct the word from the memory address to the register address. And then the syntax is here, as we can see for the example here. And we're gonna take the example here is to take the register target here. RT explains for register target, and then the 6 is the offset, and then the register source is 22. So we're gonna explain it by visualization for MIPS for the load word instruction. As we can see here, we just have to copy the syntax from the example from the slide, and we see the register target here is 22. We just put it here. So we're gonna put the value, for example, is 600. We're gonna confirm it, and then we load it. So we're heading to the visual architect for load word in this MIPS configuration. First, here we're going to execute the first clock. The PC reads 4 increments of 32 bits of memory. So as incrementing 4 by 32, so the memory contains 8 bits of data. So the instruction here, the register instruction holds the memory from the RAM memory. So here we have read address activated from the multiplexer here. So the control unit controlling the memory here to being read by the instruction register. And then we continue to the next second clock. The control units control the instruction register to parsing it to the register memory for being translated by the ALU operation, and then parsing it by the first opcode here from the control unit being controlled, the first 5 opcode, and then being transferred to this here, the multiplexer here, and then we have the rest 26-bit being extended for the ALU operation here. And then it is being read from this register source and register target in the register memory. The next third clock is to write the memory from the RAM memory by controlling it from the ALU operation, ALU unit, by the control unit here. The control unit is controlling the ALU unit to write the memory from the RAM to later going to picked by the register memory. So here we can see the explanation. In clock 3 of load word and store word instruction, ALU calculates the address by adding read instruction specified base registers with 16-bit offset, which is also read from the instruction. So that means the instruction registers read the memory here to be written in the register's address. So as we know, the read register run is the register sourcing from the memory here. And then Oh yeah, consisting of 5 bit of instruction from instruction, the opcode, and then the rest 16. The rest 16 is being extended to 32 bits to be controlled, to be translated by ALU unit here. And here the fourth clock is to have the memory address here. So here explanation again. The control unit controls the ALU unit. The ALU unit being controlled by the ALU control, of course. So the control is controlling the ALU unit being controlled by ALU control. And then, as we see here, is each node is connected, activated. So the instruction registers is preserving the ALU result by having the rest 26 bit of instruction, the bit of instruction coming to the read register 1 to the register memory. And then the ALU unit is controlling the rest. The ALU unit is to combine for each ALU cell B and cell A and cell B, sorry, to being again controlled to be placed to the register memory. And then the last clock, we have the memory already being stored in the register address, the register memory. So the by ALU unit being preserved from the instruction register, and then being controlled by the control unit, so the memory is activating as the memory, and this multiplexer IRD, and then mem to register, the memory to register is being controlled from the multiplexer, coming the bit from instruction register coming through the multiplexer each here. So the data written from the memory here coming through the multiplexer here activates in 1, and then the multiplexer here is the destination from the instruction register. The instruction register is instructing the address to be registered in here. So the register is being written through here, and then the data is written, the content is written from the memory, and then the target is being written, is already being registered in the registered address from the ALU unit. So that's it, and thank you. That's just my explanation, and thank you again for having attention from my explanation.